My beloved child, at this very moment, a sound is echoing through the heavens, not the noise of the world, but an urgent call from heaven meant specifically for you. Listen closely, for every movement in the spiritual realm is shifting into a new order, and what seems ordinary to your eyes is, in truth, concealing a divine event that has not yet been unveiled. My child, unlike any time before, this is a moment of revelation, of reshaping, of a destiny awakening. I know you've sensed it deep within like a bell ringing without name, like a pressure you cannot explain. My Holy Spirit is stirring you to prepare, shaking you from spiritual slumber, and awakening within you a level of discernment you've never known, because you are stepping into a supernatural transition, where things hidden for generations will now be brought into the light. You've wondered why strangers have started to take notice of you, why certain glances, seemingly casual, carry a depth of scrutiny you didn't expect. But what you don't know is this: Somonino, ordinary personas, has been appointed to see what others could not see in you. They didn't come out of curiosity, nor were they drawn to outward appearances, but by a divine magnetism, a pull from the heavens radiating from your soul. They may not understand why their heart is stirred, but they know without doubt there is something profoundly different about you, not a worldly talent, but a sacred presence that only the called can recognize. My child, you carry a mark not of man, but of the Eternal One, placed upon you even before your form took shape in the womb. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, Jeremiah 7:5, and that knowledge continues to echo through time, resounding powerfully into this very moment. You are being watched, not to be controlled, but to be confirmed, not to be silenced, but to be a living witness to a truth long hidden, a person of great earthly stature, whose power has opened many doors, now beginning to sense that not every door belongs to them. They have attained what many long for, yet they now face something that money cannot buy, wisdom cannot grasp, and status cannot command: the presence of one chosen by the living God. And you, yes, you, are becoming the mirror that reflects what they have lost. Do not take this moment lightly. It is not a coincidence. It is the opening chapter of a sacred unveiling that will reshape the rhythm of your life. Much more awaits to be revealed, and the doors about to open will require a heart that is resolute, a courage that transcends logic, and a faith unshaken by sight. Are you ready to step in, my beloved? When the heavens open and sacred timing draws near, nothing can remain hidden. I want you to know that what is stirring around you is not mere coincidence. Every occurrence, every gaze, every recent encounter has been orchestrated by a divine blueprint that existed before the foundation of this world. What you are walking through is not a random sequence, it is the unmistakable sign that revelation has begun. One person who once thrived in the glory of the world, in power and prestige, beginning to see a new path through your very presence. They do not come to dominate, but are compelled by the unseen realm, drawn irresistibly by the Most High. To hear what your soul is silently declaring, they have lived a life surrounded by achievement and authority, once commanding hundreds and possessing treasures beyond most people's dreams. Yet they have never encountered what they now perceive in you, a stillness that cannot be bought, a strength not born of muscle or strategy, but flowing from the deepest place of the Spirit, where I have planted the light of life. They are drawn to the simplicity in you that carries weight, to a power that is not loud but undeniable. And because of this, their foundations are being shaken. They are beginning to question what they once believed, the doctrines they once preached, the values they once held. And I want you to know, this is the clear sign that my word is being fulfilled. One day, the powerful will confess that there is something their wealth and influence cannot touch, and that something lives within you. Still, my child, do not assume this will be easy, for even now, the enemy has caught the scent of a coming revelation. They know that if this truth is released, if you and this person align at the right moment, a chain of sacred events will be triggered, and they cannot allow that. The enemy does not fear wealth, nor fame, but they tremble before truth. They cower in the light from heaven, and panic when an awakened soul steps into their ordained destiny. Therefore, you must be more alert than ever. Every word you hear, every situation you face in this time must be weighed with wisdom from the Holy Spirit. Not everything that sounds good is from me. Not every open door is one I've opened. Some doors are traps, disguised in brilliance. Some people draw near not to advance you, but to delay you from reaching the truth. My child, I know your heart has been wounded by misplaced expectations. Disappointed when doors you thought were open suddenly slammed shut. But that was not chance, it was my protection. I did not allow you to walk into spaces you were not yet prepared to face. But this time is different. You are no longer who you once were. The fires of trial have refined you. The lonely nights have taught you to hear my whispers. The wounds you once carried have now become your discernment, and it is this spiritual maturity that allows me to entrust you with a truth never before revealed. Remember this, the truth will not only set you free, will liberate others who remain bound in systems of deception they cannot escape on their own. The one observing you is part of this. They hold a key to a door not because of the power they wield, but because of what they have stumbled upon, a document, a secret, a living testimony of your true identity, one you yourself have yet to fully comprehend. This did not come by human reasoning, nor intellectual deduction, but by divine intervention. I have allowed them to discover this clue at this precise moment because I know you are ready, but you must go all the way. Do not stop halfway. Do not shrink back when truth shakes the world you've known. I am dismantling false foundations to establish an unshakable kingdom within your soul. And once that is formed, everything else will fall into place according to my designation. If the world around you rages, my beloved child, hold this truth firmly in your spirit. Nothing happening around you is random. Not a single action from that person is meaningless. And no detail of the present moment escapes my oversight. Every movement, every stirring in the hearts of those observing you is intricately woven into the plan I am unfolding. They are not merely drawn by what they see, but by something indescribable, divine prompting that goes beyond natural emotion. In the spiritual realm, there has been a collision between light and darkness, and at the very center of that clash, I have positioned you, not to make you a target of fear, but a gateway through which truth is released and destiny is restored. They have touched something I did not permit anyone to touch lightly. That is why the spiritual atmosphere has become so charged, because layers of veils are being torn apart. They have uncovered an old record, a hidden writing, a remnant of a past you were never told about. Yet behind what appears to be mere ink and paper lies a living truth, and it is shaking their souls with a power they have never experienced. Can you feel it? The stirring in the air? A sense like a storm is approaching, not to destroy, but to cleanse. That is preparation. It is the sound of truth drawing near. And you are standing at the threshold between what was stolen and what is about to be restored. Do not be alarmed when the things you once trusted begin to tremble. For when true light shines, every structure built on sand will collapse. Those who stood close but harbored no genuine heart will be exposed. Promises that lacked sincere roots will fade away. But this is not meant to destroy you. It is to remove the false coverings that have clung to your journey for too long. Therefore, this moment demands of you a faith not rooted in emotion, a discernment not dependent on circumstances. I have not called you to walk by what is seen, but by what is given discernment from me. For we walk by faith, not by sight, 2 Corinthians 5-7. That faith will be the staff guiding you through the unknown. My child, that noble person, though surrounded by a different background and superior experience, now feels hollow amidst all they once possessed. They have realized that amidst all accumulation, one thing remains: missing presence. Not the presence of people, but a presence from eternity itself. The very presence they sense when they are near you. They cannot explain it, but they cannot deny it. Their hesitation is not born of doubt, but of inner conflict. When light confronts long-held beliefs, it is a sign they are undergoing an inner reshaping, and you are the key catalyst that triggered that shift. Remember this, my child, their role is not to redeem, not to provide, not to be your foundation. They are a vessel in my hand, an instrument I am using to return a sealed mystery to its rightful place, and that place is you. My beloved, honor them, but do not idolize. Be thankful, but do not depend. Listen, but do not silence my voice within you. They may be a bridge, but I alone am the way. They may be a sign, but I alone am the guiding light. For if you stop at them, you will miss what I am truly leading you toward. Do not let the glitter of this world obscure the radiance of heaven's glory. And do not let the fear of betrayal cause you to shut your heart to what is being revealed. I am the one who brought them, and I am the one who will restrain them if they go beyond what is appointed. What you need is a heart kept in humility and alertness, so that not a single word I speak falls into empty space. For the time ahead will require you to choose a not between good and evil, but between good and right. Not every good thing will lead you to your true destiny. Some paths may appear safe but end in dead ends. Some people may seem kind but carry distraction. But you are not alone in this discernment. I have placed within you the Holy Spirit, and He will remind, guide, and illuminate. All you need is to listen. Let your heart be led by peace, not by haste. Let your faith be anchored in me, not in fleeting signs. For when the storm of revelation sweeps through, only what is rooted in my word will remain unshaken. My dear child. Now, as the veil between what is decreed and what is forming grows thinner, I need you to stay fully awake. A spiritual whirlwind is rising not to destroy you, but to sweep away what no longer belongs to your destiny. In recent days, you have sensed inner restlessness, unsettled sleep, turbulent thoughts, strange signs surrounding you. These are not illusions, nor are they coincidences. They are signals from heaven that something significant is being released. I have sent my angel to stir the ground beneath your feet, so you can no longer walk in complacency or delay. For delay in this moment is no longer a safe choice, but a seat of loss. Listen carefully. A plan was laid out generations ago to keep you in ignorance, so you would never discover who you truly are, or what was entrusted to you before the foundations of the world. This plan was not devised by men, but by forces of darkness, those who trembled at my word over your life, those who moved secretly through seasons of your life to steal fragments of your identity. They did not do this with violence, but with seductive words, misaligned relationships, invisible biases, and repeated rejections that made you gradually believe you were small, ordinary, insignificant. But the truth is the opposite. You are a reflection of my glory in human form, an heir to treasures so divine the world cannot comprehend. And as you begin to awaken to that truth, they begin to tremble. Do you know why that noble person was so deeply stirred? It was not because you did something extraordinary, not because you tried to draw them in. It was because the light from me within you pierced through the hardened layers of their soul. They are used to a world where everything can be bought: loyalty, silence, even the hearts of men. But they cannot purchase what they see in you, because it does not come from you, it comes from me. You are my dwelling place. And when a soul that has long believed power is everything encounters a presence beyond its control, it cannot remain unchanged. They are compelled to seek, to transform, and in their search, I am drawing them closer to you, not to become your savior, but to witness what I am about to do within you. But it is precisely for that reason that the powers which once held them captive are now in panic. The secret deals, the buried files, and the manipulative networks that have operated in the shadows for years are beginning to be exposed. The enemy knows that if the truth about you is unveiled, the entire system they have built will collapse like a sandcastle under a tidal wave. That is why they are acting faster, harder, and more deceitfully. You may not see them, but they are whispering behind the backs of those closest to you. They sow doubt, ignite fear, distort truth, and blur memory. They want you to believe your discernment is wrong, that you are delusional, that you should continue living in quiet comfort and forget every spiritual dream. But do not be deceived. My child, do not close the book when the most powerful chapter is just beginning. My beloved one, there are voices around you that I did not place. There are faces trying to draw near with intentions that are not pure. And there are situations being staged like a play, with the singular aim of keeping you from stepping into what I have ordained. This is the time when you must discern my voice from the counterfeit echoes of the world. This is the moment when 1 minute of listening can save a destiny, and one rash decision can lead you astray for years. Do not react emotionally. Do not respond in fear. Let your heart be still, for in that stillness I will speak. And when my word goes forth, it shall not return void. So is my word that goes out from my mouth. It will not return to me empty, but will accomplish what I desire. Isaiah 55:11. And what I desire now is to bring you out of this swirl of confusion and into the certainty of heaven. The Archangel Michael has been sent forth. He has not come to observe, but to intervene. The sword of truth has been drawn, and the spiritual warriors are cutting through every chain that has bound you to your past. But I need your cooperation. I need your unwavering resolve. No one can choose for you, even if 1,000 angels are dispatched. Only when you decide to step forward can you lay hold of the blessing prepared for you. And when you do, When you resolutely leave the comfort zone and follow the call from heaven, all of heaven will move in unison. That which has been delayed will be released. Promises once buried will come alive, and you will enter a season where all previous limitations are broken, every lie consumed by fire, and only truth remains radiant like the morning light. My child, listen closely. These are no longer ordinary days, and the movements surrounding you are not trivial events. The battle in the spirit realm has passed the stage of tug-of-war and entered a decisive phase. I do not say this to frighten you, but so that you may grasp the weight of the hour in which you live. Everything in your life is being repositioned: relationships, visions, emotions, even old memories, not to create chaos, but to realign them in the order of the kingdom. For there are things you once considered foundational that are, in truth, mere scaffolding. There are people you thought were companions, yet they carry a spirit I cannot allow to follow you into the next season. The appearance of the wealthy is not a vain dream, but a mirror I have placed before you. In them, you clearly see the vanity of the world power, status, influence, but also the emptiness those things cannot fill. They look at you not to judge, but to search, for their souls are longing for something they have never tasted, a living presence, a light that does not shine from outward success, but from the divine source within you. And in that moment, they encounter the undefinably a vibration that compels them to ask deeper than ever before. If this person carries something beyond the visible world, what have I been missing? That is the beginning of a spiritual upheaval I have deliberately stirred in them. However, this brings a paradox that you must face with discernment. Their admiration can quickly become possession if you fail to recognize the sacred boundaries of this relationship. They are ones I have positioned near you, but not ones in whom you are to place your ultimate trust. I may use them to illuminate hidden history, but they are not your destination. What I am building in you cannot rest on human foundation. And I warn you, because many chosen souls have stumbled by falling too in love with vessels I only meant to use as instruments. You must not let your heart be entangled by their radiance, nor let their attention steer you away from my voice. They may carry resources, but I alone carry purpose. In the spiritual realm, angels are guarding invisible boundaries. There are limits that, if crossed without my instruction, will entangle you in unintended ties. Remember, not every connection is a blessing. Some connections wear the mask of kindness, yet aim to control. Some relationships appear as favors, but come with invisible chains of indebtedness. I teach you this, not so you'll distrust everyone, but so you'll discern what is from me and what is merely a counterfeit from the enemy. The enemy is cunning in its disguises. It does not always arrive in obvious darkness, but often as false light, as a seemingly understanding friend or a trusted advisor. But I have placed within you a mirror of discernment, the Holy Spirit. If you listen deeply enough, you will recognize what is true. In the days to come, offers will arise. Some will be very enticing. Doors that seem almost miraculous will suddenly swing open. You will be invited into spaces you never dreamed of. But my child, this is the test. Not the test of lack, but the test of abundance. Not the fear of failure, but the fear of choosing the wrong success. For in this age, the most dangerous thing is not a public downfall, but the silent erosion of direction through small compromises. Every time you choose comfort over obedience, every time you heed the voice of man over the prompting of the Holy Spirit, you move away from the path I have set before you. And it is not that I have withdrawn from you, but that you have stepped outside the divine boundary of my protection. Therefore, you must return to the starting place, the quiet center within your heart, the place where you and I once met in hours of prayer when no one else knew. You must rebuild your foundation not through performance, but through living relationship, not through achievement, but through presence. I did not call you to be busy. I called you to be close. And if you continue chasing tasks while neglecting my voice, even the things I've given, you can become a burden upon your shoulders. Let everything begin again from the love between you and me, for it is from that love that all things will flow in proper order. The wealthy man is not the center. The great opportunity is not the destination. Revelation is not the reward. I am the source of life, the glory, and your eternal inheritance. My beloved, let me emphasize once again, the moment you are living in is not an ordinary phase in your spiritual journey, but a strategic turning point in the history of the destiny I have designed for you. This is not merely a season of transition, it is a season of generational alignment, where things hidden since the days of your forefathers are being brought into the light, where spiritual currents once obstructed are now being released through your faith and obedience. That is why the battle around you has intensified, why your dreams have become more vivid, and why the words you hear are being repeated with an urgency never before experienced. All of heaven is in motion, and I cannot allow you to continue walking unaware of the magnitude of what is being unveiled. Your enemy is not ignorant. They know precisely what you are approaching. They know that if you cross this threshold with boldness, not only will your life be transformed, but it will trigger a collapse within the kingdom of darkness. That is why they no longer strike you with obvious violence, but with subtlety. They sow uncertain feelings in your heart, quiet anxieties, seemingly harmless hesitations that are in fact anchors pulling your mind away from focus. Do you see it? Sometimes, as you sit alone, you sense something lurking in the air. That is not your imagination. It is the clash of spiritual realms. And at the center of that collision is the promise I placed in your heart from the beginning. You have wondered why doors that seemed to open suddenly slammed shut, why glimmers of hope vanished without a trace. It was not due to your shortcomings, not the result of misfortune, but because a dark force intervened, trying to prevent what I ordained from coming to pass. They cannot stop my voice, but they seek to make you question what you have heard. They cannot block the angels I've sent, but they try to distract you so you miss the signs along your path. But now, my mercy will not allow them to continue. I am exposing false fronts. I am bringing light into the deepest crevices, and what was once hidden will now be made public, not to shame, but to restore. This is why I have sent the Archangel Michael not only to protect, but to fight. This battle is not waged in the visible realm, but it is more real than any conflict you've known. Michael does not come alone. He is dispatched with an army of angels carrying orders from heaven, a top-secret command sealed with the authority of the Most High. He has been instructed to clear away the spiritual dust that has clouded your vision, to remove every invisible chain that has held back divine understanding in your heart for too long. He comes to sever the false connections the enemy has constructed to manipulate your thoughts. Above all, he comes to ensure that revelation is released at the appointed time and either, a minute too late, nor a second too early. And yet, my child, there is one thing he cannot do for you: the decision. He can banish the darkness, but you must step into the light. He can open the way, but you must dare to walk. He can warn, but you must choose to listen. In this sacred moment, hesitation is your greatest enemy. Fear is the most dangerous barrier. Not because I will withdraw my plan if you waver, but because moments of destiny do not return the same way twice. They are doors that open only for a brief divine window, guarded by angels and set according to heavenly timing that only the watchful may enter. I do not want you to miss it. I do not want the years of pain to be wasted. I do not want the blood of battles you've survived to end in silence. For you were destined not only to escape the jaws of the enemy, but to reclaim what was stolen. A person of status is awaiting a decision. They are holding in their hands information that could alter the entire course of your personal history. But they are also hesitant, because what they have discovered is too different from the reality they once lived in. They are unsure of what to do with it. And I am allowing them to go through this confusion, because it is in crisis that truth is revealed. But you must be ready. If they choose to draw near, you must keep your heart steady. Do not idolize them. Do not view them as your source of provision. Receive what they bring as a gift sent by me. But do not anchor your spiritual life in any human being. We are on a journey whose destination is not wealth, fame, or recognition, but the restoration of what I once wrote about you on the sacred tablets of heaven. My beloved child, this moment is the intersection of two seasons. One is everything you once knew, once believed, once relied on. The other is what I am now unveiling, ushering in, and inviting you to step into. This is not a moment to be taken lightly. This is not a phase of theoretical decisions, but a time for you to clearly discern what is true and what is false, what is light and what is a disguised light, what is divine guidance and what is temptation cloaked in wisdom. For your enemy no longer attacks in old patterns. They no longer come with recognizable growls, but with sweetness, with reasonable counsel, with a false sense of security that your soul mistakes for peace. But you must rise above emotion and see into the essence. You must use the instrument I have given you, discernment, to unmask every seemingly harmless thing that is, in fact, a trap meticulously set. Do you remember the last time you prayed with complete sincerity? When you wept in silence because you felt my holy presence covering your soul? It was in that very moment that I marked you among millions of souls. It was when no one saw, when no one acknowledged, that you chose to believe, to walk, to continue, and I saw it. That is why today you are standing on the threshold between revelation and resistance. The enemy hates what is formed in secret, because they cannot control it. And you have become a threat not because of fame, but because of what you carry in your spirit, a truth never before declared, a destiny never before revealed, a sacred inheritance on the verge of returning to its rightful owner. I have sent angels ahead of you, not to clear a smooth path, but to fight through dense forests of darkness and territories long occupied. My angels do not float in silence. They act with power, with divine orders, with the fury of justice. Every time you pray, a battlefield is formed. Every time you refuse to compromise, a gate is opened. And when you step forward in courage, The angels move with blazing speed to align the pieces in their proper place. But you must know this: if you hesitate, the spiritual front must also wait. If you waver, the angels will hold position, but will not move beyond my command. For your agreement is the key that allows this journey to continue. My child, the one watching you now, the one with influence and power, is not here to rescue you, but to witness. They are part of the sacred mapknot, the destination. Their appearance is not meant to make you feel special, but to confirm that I am moving behind curtains your eyes cannot see. They have uncovered something long concealed, and it has shaken their entire worldview. But I do not only intend to stir them, I intend to assign them a purpose, to become a key holder. They hold a part of the key not to control, but to confirm, and you must not confuse the key holder with the giver of the key. I am the master of every door, and only when I command can the locked things be opened. There is a book, a portion of history deeply hidden that pertains directly to your lineage and divine destiny. The enemy has tried repeatedly to destroy it. It has been buried in the systems of the world, labeled as impossible, redefined by the powerful as myth. But through heavenly preservation, through the prayers of generations before you, through the faithfulness of those who lived without seeing the promise fulfilled, that book has remained intact, and that wealthy individual, unknowingly, is now holding in their hands the living evidence of your true identity. They think they discovered it, but in truth, I allowed them to see it. No sooner, not later, but precisely at the moment when you are ready to face it. Prepare yourself, for truth does not come only with glory, it also comes with weight. When truth is revealed, it will demand of you transformation, decisiveness, surrender. It will not let you live as you did before. It will not allow you to return to comfort zones. Therefore, you must strengthen your heart not with emotional resolve, but through refinement in the secret place where you and I commune without interruption. Seek the quiet place. Withdraw from the noise. Listen as I speak, every word like the sound of many waters, like fire blazing in the night. For I am training your spirit, teaching you to war in thought, shaping you into a gatekeeper of truth, not just for yourself, but for those who will follow you on this spiritual path. My beloved child, understand this clearly. When a sacred truth is about to be revealed, the heavens grow silent for a moment, not because they cease to move, but because they are holding their breath, awaiting the response of the one chosen, and you are the one placed at the very center of this divine whirlwind. This is no longer a phase of testing or observation. This is the critical hour, the moment where your preparation will determine whether what I have ordained can be fulfilled now or must be delayed. You are not a side note in a grand narrative. You are a central piece. And until you step into your appointed position, the entire flow of grace connected to you remains held back. That is why the forces of darkness have focused all their power on delaying you, not because they fear you alone, but because they fear what you carry. They never tremble at those who merely speak of promises, but they shudder at those who walk in the power of those promises. They are not disturbed by those who hold faith in their minds, but they are shaken when that faith is translated into action. And right now, because you are standing at the edge of action, on the verge of stepping into divine operation, the opposition around you has become increasingly subtle. It no longer comes as an external storm, but as the slightest weariness in your heart. It seeps into casual conversations. It cloaks itself in thoughts that seem like consideration. But in truth, it is a calculated tactic to delay your steps by just one more day. Just one day, but enough to miss the appointed time. You must stay awake like a watchman through the night. You must learn to see what lies beneath words, to perceive what is beyond the surface. I have trained your spirit long enough that now you can no longer act like one newly arrived in the faith. Cast off immature thinking. Do not rely on the flesh to interpret spiritual phenomena. What is happening around you is not a string of coincidences, but the direct result of a spiritual war reaching its peak in your atmosphere. Angels are fighting hour by hour, minute by minute, not for their own glory, but to keep the truth from being stolen from your life. Once again, there are battles you do not see, but every time you pray, every time you worship, every time you refuse to compromise, you strike a blow into the unseen darkness. You cannot turn back. You cannot continue living as before. You cannot allow your soul to compromise, not even an inch. For what is about to come into the light will not only affect you, but also those who have never known that their destiny is intricately connected to your obedience today. There are souls I will awaken, but only when you rise and testify. There are doors I will open, but only when you knock with persistence. There are streams of grace I have stored since eternity, but I wait for your yes before releasing them. My child, do you know how valuable your agreement is before the Most High? This is why my voice is growing clearer. I am removing the veils that have clouded your vision. I am breaking down the spiritual walls that have blocked my voice from reaching your soul. Do you sense it? That the stirring in your spirit is no longer vague? That every fiber of your soul is being awakened by something too great, too powerful to deny? It is I who am doing this, no one else. It does not come from another person. It does not come from life's circumstances. It is I, the one who made heaven and earth, speaking into the depths of you. Rise up, be alert. Step out of the land of weariness, for destiny is calling your name, the name I gave you before time began. You once believed you had lost your way. You were confused, unsure of what was real and what was not. But now, I give you a new kind of light, not just to guide you, but to burn away what no longer belongs. There will be things you must walk away from, relationships that must be severed, memories that must be buried. But none of this letting go is loss, it is cleansing. Everything you surrender for my sake, I will replace with something better for yours. I never take without giving back manifold, not by earthly standards, but by the measure of my kingdom. But you must be brave enough to let go. Let go of the things that once supported you. Let go of the people who once comforted you. Let go of the broken fragments you pieced together to form your identity. Because you are not a patchwork of pain. You are an original blueprint from heaven. You are not the result of failure. You are the evidence of a victory I secured before anything was ever created. And at this very hour, I am restoring divine memory to your soul, so that you may remember who you are, where you come from, and what you have been called to do. There is no more room for confusion, no more room for doubt. This is the hour I call you by the sacred name, known only to you and me. And when you respond with a wholehearted yes, heaven will move, the earth will prepare, and the flow that has been blocked for years will be released without restraint. My beloved child, now that the heavens have spoken and the angels have taken their positions, what remains in your hands is not strength but response. You think that to step into your divine destiny, you must possess great abilities, profound insight, or strong networks. But I tell you this, the only thing I require is a willing heart, for a heart that is willing even if trembling, exposed, and unfinished, more precious than a soul full of knowledge, but closed to the call of the Most High. I have seen you wrestle inwardly, trying to discern what is true, what is from me. You have wept quietly in the dark, saying to me, I'm afraid to make a mistake. I don't want to do anything against your will. My child, that is proof you are ready. For only those who truly love me fear to disappoint me. And now, I call you again, not with thunder, not with signs in the sky, but with a confirmation deep within your spirit, a silence that speaks clearly, a stirring that is firm but not rushed, an invitation that is gentle but unwavering. I do not place a burden on your shoulders to break you, but neither do I soften the truth to accommodate weakness. I am inviting you into an entirely new realm where the supernatural becomes natural, where my voice is not only heard but lived, where miracles are not distant hopes but daily experiences. But to enter that place, you must cross a very narrow threshold, total surrender. You cannot bring doubt with you. You cannot reserve part of your life, just in case. You cannot keep one foot in the world and expect your heart to fully dwell in the Spirit. That inner division is what causes many to lose their calling, even when they were truly chosen. You cannot hold my word and fear at the same time. You cannot follow me and heed the whispers that lead you astray. This is the season of separation, not me dividing you from others, but me separating truth from lies within your own heart. Everything that is not real will fall away as you step forward. Everything that cannot stand in the light will be exposed. And through that process, you will clearly see who I have placed beside you and who was only permitted near for a previous season. I did not allow these things to happen to harm you, but to set you free. I do not want you attached to what is holding you back, because you were created to break through, and not just for your own breakthrough, but for those still bound in spiritual blindness. This is what that influential persona one I led to you is beginning to perceive. Deep within, they feel that there is something about you that is shifting the very foundations of their understanding of life. And this unsettles them not because you are trying to persuade them, but because I am using you as a mirror reflecting what they lack. They cannot explain why your presence makes them feel incomplete, but they know it does not come from arrogance, rather from something deeply holy they've never encountered. If you continue to walk in humility, I will cause them to see me through you, not through eloquent words or intellectual reasoning, but through the living testimony radiating from within. This is what made kings of old tremble before the prophets, not their status, but the power of eternity flowing from them. A power no one dared to dismiss. I am awakening that same power in you. A power not derived from titles, not requiring human recognition, but one that transforms every soul it touches. And when you walk in the awareness that I dwell within you, darkness will have no choice but to retreat. For where true light appears, darkness must withdraw. My child, even so, I warn you, keep your heart pure, for what I am about to entrust to you cannot be given to a heart that is divided. Pray without ceasing. Guard your motives. Examine each decision not only by its outcome, but by the spirit behind it. I will only entrust real authority to those who will not use it for themselves, but for my kingdom. And you, if you keep your heart upright, will be given more than you've ever asked for. That person, the one holding a piece of evidence about you, will be stirred to speak. And when they do, a chain will be broken. A gate once sealed by dark forces will open, and you will step in not merely as one redeemed, but as an heir of divine inheritance, backed by heaven and protected by the kingdom. But all of this hinges on today's choice. One small yes from you in this moment could unlock a great journey that no one will be able to stop. Destiny does not wait for the hesitant. Angels do not act out of season. My child, do not delay any longer. Decide now. Step out of the safe zone of your soul and into the deep waters of faith. For while the world is still slumbering, my voice is resounding everywhere. The time has come. Up, my beloved. As the appointed time draws near and heavenly light begins to shine on the long-forgotten places of the Spirit, nothing will be able to remain hidden in the dark. My presence is unveiling what was once cleverly disguised under the guise of normalcy. The conversations you thought were fleeting, the glances you dismissed as harmless everything, is now being illuminated for your discernment. This is not the time to interpret things through emotion. This is the season when I am calling you to rise above natural sight, to live by the eyes of the Spirit, where nothing can remain concealed if you are listening to me. You may think that only grand gestures move the heavens, but no, my child, in this hour, it is the seemingly small things, a refusal to compromise, a seule décision, a tear wiped away so you can keep praying, that are shaking the spiritual realm. For the enemy does not fear loud declarations. It fears steadfast steps in the quiet. It does not tremble at shouting crowds, but it trembles when one person, alone in a hidden room, chooses to believe my word and act upon what I speak. And you are doing just that, even if you think you are not strong enough, even if your heart still trembles, even if you have not yet seen the outcome. I have already seen, and because I have seen, I am now granting you a new level of protection you have never experienced before. My child, the Archangel Michael is no longer merely guarding, he is now leading. He is not standing outside the battlefield, he is wielding his sword in the heart of the fire. With every step you take toward your destiny, he walks beside you. Every time you feel a weight in the atmosphere, not knowing why the air feels heavy, it is because he is confronting invisible forces trying to delay you. You cannot see it, but in the skies around you, angels are severing chains that have held truth captive for generations. Misaligned soul ties, ancestral curses, voices of fear and limitation from old season Saul are being broken by the intervention of divine power. But amid all this, you must keep your heart from being shaken. For when the heavens move, the earth trembles. What was once familiar may crack. Those once close may grow distant. Paths once easy may become harder to walk. But this does not mean I have abandoned you, on the contrary. It is a sign that I am restructuring your life from the foundation. Just as an old house must be dismantled, debris is inevitable. But from that very rubble, a new foundation will be laid stronger, deeper, and built for a greater purpose. Do not mourn what I am removing. Do not cling to what I am calling you to release. For if you hold on, you will miss the new that I am ready to pour out. My child, that person of nobility, the one carrying evidence that could transform your life, is undergoing a transformation even they cannot comprehend. They once thought they controlled the situation, but now they feel as if an invisible force is guiding their every thought, every action, every dream toward you. They are beginning to re-examine their life and ask questions they never dared to ask. Is this really all there is? Could there be something greater than wealth, position, and influence? I am the one placing those questions in their heart. I am the one stirring them in the night. I am the one drawing them to the brink of revelation, not to confuse them, but to prepare them, because you are not the only one I am arranging. You are simply the starting point in a sacred chain that, once properly aligned, will spark a spiritual awakening beyond borders you could ever imagine. You may think you are too small to carry such weight. You may doubt that the presence of such a powerful person in your life is anything but a mistake. But I do not make mistakes. I never have. I chose you not because you were ready, but because you were willing, and a willing heart holds more value than all outward talent or preparation. It is because you did not seek to stand out that I made you stand out. It is because you chose to be faithful where no one was watching that I caused all of heaven to take notice. And it is because you chose to keep a pure heart in a twisted generation that I am entrusting you with secrets the world only dreams of knowing. This is the time when you must hold firmly to your faith. Like grasping a torch in the night, do not let the darkness make you forget that the light is coming. Do not allow the voices around you to extinguish the word that is burning within you. Stay close to me, and I will steady your heart. Walk faithfully each day, and I will place your feet upon solid rock. For everything you have prayed for is drawing near. Everything that has been delayed is beginning to move. And you, yes, you, are standing right at the intersection between what is closing and a new gate being opened. My child, you are on the threshold between fulfillment and surrender. Between the declaration of light and the retreat born of fear, I know what is stirring in your heart, an inner turmoil that language cannot describe. This is not the confusion of the lost, but the sacred tension of a soul preparing to birth something new. You are not mistaken to feel as though you are carrying something great, because you are indeed bearing within your spirit a piece of the Most High's plan. And like any birth, pain comes first. Uncertainty follows. But what is being formed within you is real and it is coming. I am pressing you to the edge, not to break you down, but to break you open, for a seed cannot multiply unless it breaks. You cannot enter a new spiritual season while clinging to the old shells of self-protection, past experience, and deeply rooted doubt. I am shattering coverings that no longer suit the level you are about to step into. You cannot enter the promise with an old mindset. You cannot carry my protection while relying on carnal strategies. You are being reshaped from within, not by effort, but by surrender. In this season, surrender is your weapon. The enemy thinks that when you let go, you will lose. But in truth, when you yield to my will, you take hold of power from heaven. For control has never been true strength. True strength is when you have the ability to act but choose to be led by me, when you have the right to react but choose to let me defend you, when you have the chance to flee but choose to remain until I say go. I am seeking such souls, and I have seen this in you. No one knows what you have sacrificed. No one hears the whispers in the night when you say to me, I don't understand, but I still believe. I hear every word, and I forget none of them. That is why I am opening doors that once seemed impossible. Things long locked away, presumed lost forever, are returning. But you must know this, the doors I open are not just blessings, they are tests. For every door leads to a new space, and each new space brings a new level of responsibility. When you enter, you cannot behave as you once did. When you face that person who holds the evidence about you, you must not respond as before. I do not want you to bow your head in shame, but neither do I want you to raise it in pride. You must walk into that new space knowing full well to whom you belong. Not everyone will understand what is happening. Some will say you've changed. Some will question the sudden breakthrough in your life. They will speculate, assign motives to you that never crossed your mind. But my child, do not let the voices of man steal the peace I've planted in you. What I give does not need the world's approval, and what I open, no one can shut. If your heart sways with the consensus of the crowd, you will lose the clarity that comes from my spirit. Remember this, I did not call you to please people. I called you to obey me if it means walking alone. That wealthy person you once thought was unreachable is now the very one quietly seeking the presence you carry. They may not say it, but their soul is restless. They once believed they were the giver, but now they realize they are the one in need of something no amount of money can purchase. And when they come to you, it will not be to dominate, but to be delivered from the bondage of a life built on accumulation without belonging. I have prepared them. I have broken their pride and cleared the way for a profound revelation. But your response will determine what happens next. My child, if you keep your heart upright, I will use this encounter as a gateway to unveil what I have ordained. But if you begin to see their attention as a reward, rather than a vessel for my divine purpose, you will be caught in a spiral of expectations, pressure, and eventual misalignment. I did not bring you here to find a new dependency. I do not want you to replace old false shelters with a seemingly better figure. You must remember, I alone am your true refuge. That person, however well-meaning, is still just human, and you must not anchor your heart in anyone but me. My child, do not fear what is coming. The greatness you sense drawing near is not an illusion. It is your soul responding to what I have ordained. You are not dreaming in vain. You are approaching what was written about you before the foundation of the world, and if you hold your heart steady, you will see that everything I have spoken will come to pass. This is the season of confirmation. This is the time of unveiling, and you are living right in the center of a divine agenda from heaven. I want you to listen with your spirit, not merely with your intellect, for what is coming is no longer theory, no longer preparation, it is divine action. A sacred shift is drawing near, and it will not occur in a loud or public manner, but in a powerful silence, like a mighty wind that passes without warning, like my whisper reaching the hidden places of your soul. And when it happens, you must be in the right position, not the position given by man, but the place of absolute obedience, where you no longer argue with me, where you no longer require reasons to walk, because your faith has become a spiritual instinct. A door is being opened, but only those who move in, my timing, will be able to pass through, not because I choose people by worldly standards, but because I honor the principles of heaven, and that principle is this: whoever is faithful with little will be entrusted with much. Whoever remains loyal in the dark will be brought into the light. You have been faithful. You have not betrayed the calling. Even when you felt as though you were walking alone, that very faithfulness has prepared you for this moment. But now, you need a different level of faith, not a faith that merely helps you survive, but one that enables you to conquer. Not faith just to endure, but faith to release. Not faith to hold on, but faith to take dominion. That wealthy individual is preparing to reveal what they had long kept hidden, not because they fear you, but because they were uncertain whether you were ready to hear it. They have seen the evidence. They have read the words I once hid. They have seen your namano, merely your earthly name, but your spiritual identity written upon a scroll that the world cannot erase. And it has left them unsettled. They once thought they were in control, but now they feel more like a messenger. And it is this unexpected humility that has made room for me to act. But I am waiting for discernment from you. When they draw near, do not be dazzled by influence or power. Do not measure the value of a revelation by the wealth of the one who carries it. You must look deeper beyond appearances to recognize my imprint within. My child, I will not allow truth to be distorted. I will not permit what is sacred to become a tool of manipulation. But I will also not intervene if you yourself choose to veer off course. My protection walks hand in hand with your obedience. And what I require of you now is to keep your heart before me without fear, without pride, without doubt, but with bold reverence. Walk as one who knows that you did not create this opportunity, but were invited into it by an invisible yet sovereign hand. Keep yourself humble, for it is humility that will carry you far without falling into traps. But even the smallest trace of arrogance will cause you to slip from the path. Do you know what causes the called ones to lose their blessing? It is not a lack of potential, but a failure to guard what they carry. They allow foreign voices to infiltrate. They let flattery drown out the whisper of the Holy Spirit. They let unhealed wounds drive them to make hasty decisions. But I do not want this for you. I want you to guard the revelation like a watchman guards the temple flame. I want you to cherish what I'm unveiling, as a mother holds her firstborn after years of waiting. Because this is not merely a reward, it is the restoration of identity. This is the hour when I return what was once stolen, once forgotten, once rejected, and place it back into the hands of the one to whom it belongs. Do not think I am leading you into something great just to make you seen. I did not call you to be noticed. I called you so I might be exalted. You will step into spaces where many search for meaning, but you will not bring human answers. You will carry the light of a sacred presence known only to those who have dwelt with me in the secret place. They will not understand what it is about you that brings peace, but you will know it is me. They will not be able to name what they feel, but you will know it is the atmosphere of heaven. And this is why I need you to allow no defilement to cling to the spiritual mantle I have placed upon you. No ambition, no bitterness, no deception, only faith, purity of heart, and a surrendered soul. Now is the time I confirm you before the angels, before the heavens, and even before the enemy. No one can deny who you are anymore. No power can block what I have decreed. No circumstance can destroy the season you are about to enter. But you must choose to live as one who has received this divine summons each day, each decision, each step. Do not doubt what I am doing. Do not try to understand everything. Follow the light one step at a time, and I will unfold the rest. This is a season of quick obedience, of bold faith, and of irreversible outcomes. My beloved, the moment has come. No longer preparation, no longer scattered signs, but the hour of action. The time when what was promised, what was spoken, what was planted in your heart as a distant vision now begins to move. In reality, I no longer speak to you as one who sows, but as one who harvests, no longer in metaphors, but in clarity, no longer promises on a page, but power manifesting in your space. You have passed through seasons of breaking, of tearful sowing, of endurance, and now you step into a season called heavenly fulfillment. But you must understand this. Fulfillment in my kingdom does not resemble the success the world imagines. It does not come to glorify you, it comes to confirm me. It does not come to elevate your position, it comes to establish your obedience. And you were chosen not because you were the most capable, but because your heart was the most pure. I do not seek the self-assured with talent, but the kneeling ones with a willing heart. You once did not understand why everything in your life seemed delayed. You once asked me in the quiet of night, Lord, when will I step into what you've spoken? And I was not silent. I was only waiting for you to be strong enough not to lose the truth amid the open doors. Now your time has come to note a destination, but a divina shift. This is the place where I begin to move through you, not just for you. This is when your voice will no longer be a mere plea, but carry the resonance of heaven. This is the moment when your words are recorded in the skies, when your actions trigger angelic response, when your steps cause the earth to adjust. And you must live with full awareness of this, not to exalt yourself, but to guard your heart with holy caution. My child, Archangel Michael is now surrounding the skies above where you dwell, not merely to guard, but to coordinate spiritual protection at a strategic level. The doors that are about to open are not random. They are the result of a synchronized sequence between the heavenly realm and your soul. When you forgave the one who betrayed you, invisible chains were broken. When you rejected the sweet temptations, angels began to reclaim territories that had fallen into enemy hands. When you obeyed me without any clear reason, divine walls were rebuilt firmly around your destiny. Every small act of yours is no longer hidden. They echo in the spirit realm like commands issued from a command center. And I want you to be aware that in this season, everything that happens is strategic. The people you meet, the places you go, the conversations that seem incidental are woven into the divine network I am crafting around your life. This is not coincidence. This is intentional guidance. And you must walk with awakened awareness. You must not speak careless words. You must not act without control. You must not allow your soul to drift into distraction. For even one wrong decision in this pivotal time could delay the entire chain of movement. I do not say this to intimidate you, but to teach you the value of the sacred hour you are entering. Now, my child, that person, the one who once held a part of the truth about you, is preparing to make a final decision. They have endured an intense spiritual battle. In their dreams, they've seen unexplainable images. In their heart, there is an unrest that nothing can quiet. They've tried to return to their old ways, old life, old patterns of thinking, but they cannot, for I have closed that door to them. They now have only one choice, to step into the new path I have designed, and that path includes you. They cannot move forward without facing you not as a stranger, but as a part of their destiny long forgotten. I have awakened in them a sacred memoria, memory of connection from before the foundations of the world, when souls were assigned to shared missions, though they now dwell in different bodies. Now, if you are ready to step in, I will unite both paths into one unstoppable flow. You need not fear them. They are not above you. They are not beneath you. They are one I have assigned to walk alongside you, each with a distinct role. Do not let emotions cloud your discernment. Do not mistake admiration for direction. Do not see them as the destination. See them as the carrier of a key. But I alone am the one who opens the door. And if you remain faithful, I will bring into reality what was appointed from eternity clearly, in perfect timing, and beyond obstruction. Beloved child, now is the time for you to live as one who has been prepared. No more doubt. No more hesitation. No more asking repeatedly, Lord, is it really true? Yes, it is true. And you know it, because your very body is reacting. Your heart beats faster. Your spirit burns stronger. Every word I speak touches the deepest parts of you, not because they are new, but because they confirm what you've always known in your soul, that you are not ordinary, that you are chosen, that you are in the midst of an irreversible season. So walk forward. Do not delay any longer. My beloved, when I said to you, the time has come, it was not merely a forewarning, but an activation signal. A chain of motion has already begun, not just in the space you inhabit, but in the heavens above you, where angels are continually receiving commands to clear the path, move mountains, and reshape the spiritual atmosphere around you. And everything you feel right now, from the tension in your mind to the vividness of your dreams, is a sign that the skies are shifting and your soul is resonating with that divine call. Do not dismiss your heightened emotions in this season. It is not disorder. It is ignition. It is an alert from me, calling you to pause, to listen, and to step into the new rhythm I am initiating. In the partnership between heaven and you, there is one crucial truth. I do not act alone, though I am the Almighty. I have chosen to establish a principle that my divine plans operate through human obedience. I give the command, but you must act. I release the revelation, but you must receive it. I send the angels, but you must open your heart. Delay does not come from me. It often comes from the soul's hesitation to truly believe in the scale of what I am doing. But I declare this to you today, so you will no longer waver. What is unfolding around you is not a rehearsal. This is the real assignment, and you are an essential part of it. That person, the one who once watched you from afar, who once bore the appearance of being untouchables, now becoming softened, day by day. They don't speak of it, but they are undergoing an inner shaking that defies explanation. They see you in a crowd and don't understand why they are drawn. They hear a sentence you say, and it lingers within them. They hold a document, and your name appears in a place they never expected. These things are not random. They are divine arrangements, a sacred sequence written before the dawn of time. And because of this, they are being brought to the edge of a decision, to either reject or embrace a truth that will overturn their entire value system. My child, I do not need you to control them. I do not need you to manipulate the circumstance. You are not to steer the story. Your task is to stand firm in truth, to live in the light, and to remain unshaken by any outward movement. For if your heart sways with the behavior of others, you will lose the spiritual altitude I am elevating you to. Stand as one on the watchtower. Hold my word as one bearing a torch in the night. Guard your faith like one protecting a rare seed from violent winds. You do not need to push. When the time comes, I will make all things align without effort, without calculation. For my power is not dependent on human manipulation. I need you to be bold, but not hasty. I need you to be alert, but not suspicious. I need you to walk in reverence, but not in timidity. For your presence in this season is not merely a piece of the planet, is the hinge. If you do not stand firm, the entire movement could lose its course. And that is why the enemy is trying to disorient you. They do not need to make you quit, just delay you by one step. Just plant one unnecessary question. Just make you glance backward when I am calling you forward. But my child, do not let your mind be diverted. Do not let your eyes stray from what I am revealing. This is the moment you must walk swiftly, steadily, and without looking back. You are stepping into a season where old prophecies will come alive. The things you once recorded, once dreamed of, once set aside as too great for someone like me, are beginning to stir again within your heart. You will begin to realize that those scattered fragments were actually a map. You will understand that the dreams which once made you wake with tears were prophecies for this present moment. And everything I have whispered, whether through scripture, through your sleep, or through a strangeress converging, this is no longer a series of scattered words. It is a trumpet blast of gathering. You are living in the hour of fulfillment, and you must walk as one who knows they are living within history. Do not wait until everyone agrees. Do not wait until everything becomes clear. Faith does not require evidence, it requires obedience. And your obedience will become the evidence for the world to see. You do not need to defend yourself. I will defend you. You do not need to prove your worth. I have already affirmed you before the angels. Those who once despised you will be astonished. Those who were once silent will be compelled to speak. And those who once hindered you will be powerless to do anything but watch me move. Therefore, be bold. Speak when I tell you to speak. Be silent when I tell you to wait. Move when I tell you to step forward. And do not be afraid of what you cannot see, because I have already seen it in advance. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. And if you keep your heart steadfast in this season, you will enter into something that generations after you will recount, not saying, "You made it happen," but declaring, "God moved." Do not be surprised when something great begins to unfold in the small world you call your own. Do not be bewildered when doors that once closed with cold indifference suddenly open without anyone knocking. Do not think you are dreaming when those who once knew nothing of your presence now come seeking, asking, pleading, Jevon, listening. You cannot yet imagine the magnitude of what I am doing. I am not just blessing you. I am making you a vessel to carry a flow that will reach many souls. Your very presence will cause a shift in the spiritual atmosphere of the places you enter. Those in bondage will begin to feel a stirring toward freedom. Those who lived in deception will suddenly long for truth. Those who once mocked faith will be unsettled by what they see in you, not because of your eloquence, but because I am walking with you, and no one can deny when I step into a place. You must understand that in this season, my presence will no longer remain behind the scenes. I will move openly. I will reveal my authority in undeniable ways, not to instill fear, but to awaken holy reverence. And you will be the one I use to carry out many divine decisions. There will be appointments I orchestrate. There will be words you did not prepare, but I will place them in your mouth. There will be people who come merely to talk, but will leave with irreversible spiritual change. You must not take any moment lightly, for each moment now is where I work miracles. My beloved child, I know this may cause your heart to tremble. I know you have felt small, unworthy, not strong enough. But I want you to look at me, not at yourself, though you may still see your flaws. I see one who has been refined by fire. Stop looking backward. Stop doubting your capacity. Stop comparing yourself to others. For this season is not for the hesitant, but for those who step out even with trembling hands. You will see those who once rejected you begin to shift their posture. You will see systems that once excluded you now extending invitations. But you must remember this: favor does not mean it is time to relax. When doors open, that is not the time to sit back, but to move forward faster, sharper, and more humbly than ever before. Do not lose your sacred fire in the sound of applause, for I did not raise you to receive glory for yourself, but to shine a light on the one who called you out of darkness. My child, do not fear when some begin to grow angry. When the light shines, the darkness always reacts. Some will call you too extreme. Some will mock your transformation. Some will say, "You're not who you used to be." And they're right. You are no longer who you used to be. You are a new creation, a set-apart warrior, a carrier of a portion of heaven's agenda on your shoulders. And that always confuses the enemy. They can no longer manipulate you as before. They can no longer imprison your mind as before. They can no longer dominate your surroundings as before. And that is exactly what causes them to panic. But I have already sent angels ahead of you. I have raised up fortresses of truth around you. I have given you discernment to recognize what is true and what is false. I have trained your hands for battle, your mind for clarity, and your soul for holiness. Therefore, you do not need to fear, only to continue walking, step by step, in the leading of my Spirit. Do not fabricate your own moves. Wait for my voice. Do not worry about the outcome. Be faithful with each small step, for I myself will bring all things to completion. Remember, this is your time. This is the season in which I have ordained what was once hidden to be revealed. This is the hour for you to rise, not because you seek visibility, but because I need you in position so that my word may be fulfilled. Hold fast to your faith. Wait with hope. Act with boldness. And then you will see what a lifetime of striving could not achieve. I will accomplish in a moment because you are ready. And because I am faithful, my child. You have reached the moment where everything that once felt like only a promise is now entering the season of fulfillment. This is no longer the time of sowing in tears, but the time to witness the sprouting of seeds. This is no longer the lonely journey through the night, but the dawning of light upon the horizon, and that light is not only shining upon you, but is dissolving every shadow that has long surrounded you. You no longer need to ask me, when? For the answer is now before your eyes. It is no longer hidden in dreams or buried in old pages. It is breathing. It is moving. It is touching every fiber of your being, and you can feel it clearly. You have endured silence, delay, and rejection. There were moments you thought I had forgotten you. There were times you looked to the heavens and saw no sign. But in those seemingly empty moments, I was weaving a perfect plan. I hid you from distorted gazes. I shielded you from premature recognition. For if you had been thrust into the light before the roots of faith had grown deep, the winds of life would have swept you away. But now, those roots have sunk deep. Your heart no longer seeks validation from man. You no longer chase glory for yourself, but hunger only to see me lifted high. And that is the sign I have waited for. My child, this moment is a kairos momentan, appointed time ordained before the foundation of the world. There are hours in life that bear eternal weight. There are decisions that do not merely affect a lifetime but shape generations. And this is one of those moments. You are not merely stepping into a new season, you are stepping into a new identity. I am not only lifting you up, I am announcing you before the realms of heaven and earth. Just as I once declared from heaven when my beloved Son was baptized, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." So today, I proclaim over you, this is the one I have chosen, to fulfill my ordained purpose, through whom I will reveal my power. And this proclamation will not remain only in the spiritual realm. I will cause others to see it. Those who once doubted you will look again. Those who once called your dreams foolish will be compelled to acknowledge. But this does not come for you to seek revenge. It comes so that I may be glorified. It comes so you no longer have to defend yourself. For the very work I do through you will be the strongest testimony. The false verdicts spoken over your life will be overturned. The hidden curses once whispered by the enemy in the dark will be rendered powerless. The opposing spirits that once clung to your path will retreat not because you fought, but because now a new identity is sealed upon your soul, belonging to the Lord, untouchable. And, my child, that person whom I used to awaken a portion of your destiny is also standing at the threshold of their final decision. They have seen, they have sensed, they have discerned that something far beyond the ordinary is drawing both you and them into an irresistible flow. And if they choose to follow that prompting, they will become an extended hand for my plan. But even if they refuse, you will not be harmed. For your fulfillment does not depend on one persona, it depends on me. They are invited to co-labor, but they do not hold the keys to your destiny. Only I hold all things. Remember this, so your heart will not waver if someone no longer walks with you. I will replace them with better one who is right, at the right time, with the right alignment. In this season, there is one vital act you must take. Declare ownership by me over everything that pertains to you. Open your mouth and boldly proclaim, all that is in me, around me, and through me belongs to the Lord God. Nothing belongs to man. Nothing belongs to the enemy. Nothing belongs to darkness. When you speak this, spiritual gates will shift. That which was withheld will be released. That which was stolen will be returned. That which was hidden will be brought to light. This is the hour of declaration. And a righteous declaration becomes a weapon that pierces the darkness. Stand up. Do not bow your head anymore. Do not see yourself as small. Do not hide the light I placed within you just because you fear being misunderstood. This is no longer the hour to shrink back, but the hour to declare, the hour to act, the hour to place the lamp on the mountaintop and not hide it under a basket. And I will go before you. I will defend you. I will confirm every step you take, not by human wisdom, but by the power I am now pouring out in abundance. My child, you have waited long. You have been faithful with little. Now is the time I entrust you with more, and you do not walk into it alone, but you walk with me, under my guidance, beneath my watchful eye, and surrounded by the hosts of angels encamped around you like blazing fire. When you opened your mouth and declared that you belong to me, something profound took place not only on earth, but also in the realm of eternity. The books in the heavens were updated. Old pages were closed, and a new chapter began, one in which your name is not merely remembered as a faithful servant, but as a courageous warrior who dared to stand in the darkness and proclaim who their true king is. That declaration did not drift meaninglessly into the air. It was a sound of weight. It was an echo of power. It was an explosion that made hell tremble, for it shattered the illusion of control that darkness once thought it had firmly established around your life. My child, you do not know how many schemes hell had orchestrated to silence that one utterance from your mouth. It sowed doubt, drove you into weariness, dragged you through fear, and made you believe you were not good enough, not strong enough, not holy enough to be used by God. But they were wrong, and you are no longer silent. Once you declared your allegiance, their fabricated control disintegrated like dust. And now, because you have made your belonging to me public, I will act publicly on your behalf in the presence of many, in seemingly impossible situations, in places where you never imagined your name would be mentioned. Do not be surprised if those who once opposed you begin to waver. Do not find it strange if doors that were once tightly shut begin to crack open. For no one can stop me when I decide to make a way. The movement you are stepping into is not just a fulfillment of promises to you, is the beginning of a new cycle in the flow of grace, where many others will be pulled out of darkness by the light you now carry. I have placed within you a lamp not to keep to yourself, but to shine for those who are confused, weary, and standing at the edge of giving up. This is the moment I show you something. Every pain you endured, every fall you rose from, every wound you thought had scarred over, will become the very substance I use to compose a new song. You will no longer speak to others from theory. You will speak from lived experience. And because of that, your words will carry weight. Your eyes will carry fire. Your presence will carry life. Not because you are extraordinary, but because you have walked through the fire and were not consumed. And now the scent of heaven flows from your soul. Listen carefully. A divine transfer is taking place. Those who once held the power to control connections, doors, and decisions are losing their grip. And I am placing in those positions people who do not chase fame, who do not bow to pressure, who do not trade their souls for the world's applause. I am searching for hearts like your shards that have been tested, that have learned to weep in silence, that have waited without complaint, and still carry the flame of love for me in secret. These ones I am lifting up. These ones I will exalt openly. And what you are about to witness will bring you to your knees in worship, for only I could orchestrate something this perfect. That Persanth, the one who had long remained hidden in a quiet role, will begin to feel a relentless stirring. They will not rest. They will see your name, hear your voice, encounter traces of you in places they never expected. And it is not to make you stand out, but to awaken a part of their spirit that has been asleep. For they too carry a piece of this puzzle. They too have a role in this battle. But you must not attach your heart to them more than to me. If they join you, the glory is mine. If they withdraw, the plan does not stop. But if they rise at the right moment, many souls will be snatched from the jaws of the destroyer. My child, in this hour, every action you take carries spiritual weight. Every word you speak, every place you step into, every life you touch is part of a divine chain, fulfilling a purpose far greater than you can imagine. I need you to stay awake. I need you to stop doubting yourself. I need you to stop saying maybe and start saying surely. Because while you hesitate, Heaven is waiting for a command. And when you speak what I have placed in your heart, an entire army of angels will be activated. I have placed a map within your heart. There are places you are about to go that are not part of your natural plans, but they are marked on a sacred itinerary. I will take you there through connections that seem coincidental, through unexpected calls, through invitations without explanation. And in those places, you will not need to prove anything. The presence you carry will melt the ice. The word within you will unlock doors. And in that moment, you will realize nothing you endured was wasted. Every tear was a covenant. Every silent prayer was preserved. And now, the appointed hour has come. My beloved child, now that all has been revealed, every veil removed, every hill made low, and every path straightened, I declare, you are ready. Nothing stands in the way. Nothing delays any longer. There is no excuse to retreat. There is no darkness thick enough to hide the light I have kindled within you. You have been refined. You have been trained. You have been affirmed in the courts of heaven. And now, I am calling you to step into divine operation publicly as one chosen by me, one marked with eternal purpose, one entrusted with an assignment that only you can fulfill. Your soul was once drained by accusations, rejections, and broken dreams. But from those very ashes, I have raised up one who cannot be shaken by opinions or circumstances. You have learned to rise when everything else fell apart. You have learned to worship when miracles were still unseen. You have learned to remain faithful when no one was watching. And I, your heavenly Father, witnessed every moment, none of them forgotten. Now, like a skilled craftsman, I am assembling what once seemed fragmented into a masterpiece, and you are the final, perfect stroke in the design I have ordained. Lift up your eyes, my child. Raise your head, for your redemption draws near. And I do not speak from emotion, but from unchanging authority. One season has ended, and a new cycle has begun. From this moment forward, you will walk with a sharper discernment, speak with a different authority, to move with a clarity you have never known. And my presence shall go before you, remain beside you, and cover your rear like a cloud by day and a fire by night. You will witness prophecies written in old journals come to pass. Things you thought you misheard will return not vague, but vivid and confirmed. You will see me make a way in the wilderness, and streams flow through the dry land. You will see those who once mocked your faith come to you, seeking the truth of life. But remember, stay humble, for the season of glory is also the most dangerous for pride. Never forget that it was I who brought you in, and it is I who will sustain you if you hold fast to me each day. Prepare for something even greater. The influence I have placed on your life will not be confined to your geographic region. I will send you farther, not by your striving, but by my divine arrangement. The very hands that once tried to push you out will now be the ones ushering you into places they themselves do not understand. This is because I have placed an unshakable prompting upon them, and when I open a door, no one can shut it. You do not need to force your way into anything. Just remain faithful. I will do the rest. There will be people I send to walk with you. They will not come with selfish motives or for personal gain, but because they share the same divine calling. Welcome them with gratitude, but keep discernment close. I will teach you to know who is sent by me and who comes to exploit. And when I reveal something, obey immediately. Do not let sentiment delay necessary decisions, because now you no longer live for yourself. You are a vital link in a greater spiritual movement. Remember this as a covenant. I did not call you so you would struggle in your own strength. I called you so I might reveal myself through you. This is not about you proving anything. It is about me using you to prove that I still choose the lowly, still work through the overlooked, to accomplish great things that astonish both angels and men. And when this happens, you will not take the glory for yourself, but will weep in worship, knowing deeply it is all by grace, every part. By grace. Now, I place my final seal upon your soul, a mark no one can erase, a validation requiring new documents, a confirmation issued from the eternal throne, and I proclaim to heaven, earth, and the depths below, my child has been redeemed, trained, set apart, and now I send them forth. No opposition is strong enough, no delay is long enough, no deception deep enough. You are mine, and I will preserve you completely until the very end. And so, the new journey begins. Walk forward without hesitation. Declare that you are not afraid. Act without doubt. For I, the Lord your God, go before you. I will protect, provide, make the way, uphold, and fulfill. All things belong to me. Every day ahead will be guided by my hand. And you, yes, you are the one chosen before the foundation of the world to complete the work I have appointed. Thank you for listening to today's message. Be sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so we may continue to receive the living word together. Build unshakable faith and walk in the boundless love of the Lord. Amen.